The laughter echoed through the woods, cruel and careless. "Let's see if the new girl's still so brave now," one of the boys sneered, pulling the rope tighter. Emily struggled against it, her wrists burning as the rough fibers bit into her skin. Her backpack lay torn on the ground, her sketchbook's pages fluttering away in the wind like fragile birds. They thought it was funny, watching the shy, quiet girl trapped against the old oak. But what they didn't know was that help was already on the way. And it wasn't just anyone. It was her father, the police chief, who'd just gotten a call about something strange happening near the old trail. Emily had only been at her new school for 2 weeks. Moving from the city to a small town had felt like a second chance, a fresh start after her mother's passing. Her father, Chief Mason, had taken a new post here to rebuild their lives. But small towns have their own rules, and one of them was clear: outsiders don't fit in easily, especially not quiet, artistic girls who kept to themselves. At first, Emily tried to ignore the whispers and the snide comments in the hallway. She focused on her sketches, on the sunlight that poured through the classroom windows, and on the letters she still wrote to her mom in a little notebook. But then came Tyler, the self-proclaimed king of the 10th grade. His father owned half the stores in town, and he was used to getting away with anything. When Emily accidentally spilled her drink on his sneakers during lunch, his pride took the hit. From that day, she became his favorite target. It started small, snatching her pencils, mocking her voice, laughing when she blushed. But bullies always push boundaries. One Friday after school, he and his friends followed her to the woods that lined the back of the neighborhood. "Where are you off to, new girl?" he called out. Emily kept walking, clutching her bag tighter. But they caught up. There were 3 of them, and the fear in her chest was sharp and heavy. "Maybe you should learn to respect people who belong here," Tyler said. The others laughed as they pinned her against the tree, winding a rope around her arms. Tears welled in her eyes, not just from fear but from the shame of feeling helpless. They took pictures, joking about posting them online. "Smile for the camera, new girl," one said. Emily's heart pounded. She wanted to scream, but her voice trembled too much to escape. The moment felt endless. The laughter, the cold bark against her back, the sound of her own pulse roaring in her ears. Then, in the distance, came the low rumble of an engine. The boys turned. A police SUV stopped at the edge of the trail, its headlights slicing through the trees. The laughter stopped. The doors opened, and out stepped Chief Mason. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then his eyes landed on the scene, his daughter bound to a tree, her cheeks streaked with tears. The air shifted. "Emily!" His voice broke, sharp, controlled, but full of fury beneath the calm. He walked forward slowly, the gravel crunching under his boots. "What's going on here?" Tyler stammered, trying to hide the rope behind his back. "We were just joking around, sir." But Mason's face was unreadable. He untied Emily gently, his hands shaking as he freed her wrists. Then he turned toward the boys. "You think tying someone up is a joke?" His voice was quiet, deadly quiet. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Tyler's confidence crumbled. "We didn't mean to hurt her," he began, but Mason cut him off. "You will explain that at the station." One of the boys tried to run, but another officer stepped out from behind the car. They had backup. Mason had come expecting trouble. Within minutes, the laughter and arrogance had turned to silence and handcuffs. As Emily sat in the car, wrapped in her father's jacket, she trembled. Not from fear anymore, but from release. The weight of weeks of humiliation lifting off her shoulders. Her father looked at her through the rearview mirror, his voice soft now. "You should have told me, sweetheart." She swallowed hard. "I didn't want you to think I couldn't handle it," she whispered. The next day, word spread through the school like wildfire. Tyler and his friends were suspended and faced community service under her father's supervision. The students who had laughed before now looked away in shame. But Emily didn't gloat. She walked through the halls with her head high, quiet but no longer invisible. In art class, her teacher asked her to create a piece for the upcoming community exhibit. Emily drew the oak tree, not as a symbol of fear but of strength. In her sketch, the ropes had become vines blooming with wildflowers. Her father visited the exhibit on opening night, standing quietly in front of the drawing. "You turned something ugly into something beautiful," he said. She smiled softly. That's what Mom would have wanted. The story of that day became a quiet legend in the town, not about revenge, but about resilience. Emily never let what happened define her. She chose to forgive, but she never forgot, and the bullies learned that every action, no matter how small, carries a consequence. By the end of the year, Emily's drawing hung permanently in the school hallway, a reminder that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet strength of standing tall when others try to break you. And as for Chief Mason, every time he drove past the old trail, he'd glance toward that oak tree and think of how that day changed them both. For him, it was a lesson in how easily cruelty hides behind laughter. For her, it was the moment she realized that no one, not even a bully, can silence the strength that grows from love, loss, and the will to rise again.